Maya wasn't exactly a knockout when she was born. I was pushed into marrying her and honestly couldn't stand the thing. But then, I got snatched, and the kidnappers demanded I off her. She grabbed a knife and plunged it into her own heart. That's when I saw just how much she loved me. The next thing I knew, I was back to the day we first tied the knot. I dashed over to her, choking up, and said, "Babe, I missed you. Hold me." Her face tightened, eyes dimmed. "What game are you playing this time?" My last memory from before was Maya coughing up blood, still smiling, saying, "Alex, I love you. Live well." Turns out, the kidnappers had been gunning for her from the jump. They took the ransom but still kept a gun to my head, forcing me to kill Maya. She didn't hesitate, grabbed the knife and stabbed her heart. Her eyes were fierce, the face I couldn't stand now glowing in the sunset. But I still died. Couldn't see who was behind it as everything went black. Then I woke up with a warm breeze on my face. I glanced around through a nearby mirror. Was I home? My phone buzzed, breaking my thoughts. It was Sarah, my old friend and now a hotshot pianist. "Alex, you didn't go with Maya to the charity gala, right? Want to join me instead?" I snapped out of it, quickly checked the calendar, and my heart raced. I'd been reborn. Back to the year Maya and I just got hitched. Today was our first big event as a couple. She had a suit made just for me, fitting like a glove. But before we left, my mom called. She said Maya had handed her a coveted project, pushing me to treat Maya better. I was inexplicably pissed. The company was struggling money-wise, but we didn't need to marry into Maya's family because of that. Still, Maya's proposal was tempting, and my folks agreed almost instantly. I always felt she was taking advantage of us. I hated her. That call felt like she was trying to trap me with cash. We got into it. "Maya, I'll never like a scheming, unattractive person like you." Forget it. In my rage, I took Sarah up on her invite, showing up at the event with her and leaving Maya humiliated. Sarah's invite, attending with her, left Maya the joke of our group, and rumors about our shaky marriage were blowing up online. Ding. Another Instagram DM from Sarah popped up. "Alex, why aren't you replying? Want me to pick you up?" I quickly declined, dressed up, and left. This time, I wasn't going to let Maya get hurt. At the gala, I spotted Maya right away. She looked stunning, graceful, but a birthmark on the left side of her face still bothered me. Suddenly, I remembered her last confession from my past life, and my eyes burned. A harsh voice snapped me back. "Maya, let's be real. Alex has always been handsome, with women chasing him all his life, and he's not into many. How does that make you feel? People judge by looks, especially today. Maya can only put up with a money-based marriage." Maya's head dipped slightly, looking uneasy. I grabbed a wine glass and walked up to her. Seeing her surprised, I got choked up. "Babe, I missed you. Hold me." Maya stared at me like I was crazy. The others, who'd been mocking, looked awkward. They didn't expect me to show up, let alone get all mushy with Maya. Everyone knew I hated her before. My disdain for the marriage was no secret, so they teased her. Maya especially knew. And there she stood, tense face, dim eyes. After a moment, she asked coldly, "What game are you playing this time?" My eyes welled up again. Remembering how I treated her badly before, making her lose face, I felt the sting. The few times I'd been nice to her were just to trick her into a divorce. She probably remembers those moments now, especially when I yelled at her in front of the maid. Damn it, why didn't I go back further? As I pondered, a mocking voice cut through the crowd. "Alex doesn't care about money over people, hates Maya." What changed? No issue with her looks now. Laughter broke out around. It was Zoe, Maya's rival. She couldn't beat her in business, so she attacked elsewhere. Last life, when I came with Sarah, Zoe mocked Maya relentlessly. Annoyed, I grabbed the wine from Maya and splashed it on Zoe's face. "Alex, are you out of your mind?" Zoe wiped her face angrily and stepped closer. A waiter handed her a towel, which she tossed aside after a quick wipe, glaring at me. "Your mouth was filthy, so I cleaned it for you." Zoe raised her hand in anger. You little… Before she could finish, Maya grabbed her hand. Touch him and you'll regret it, she told them, heart fluttering, nose tingling. Just like before, Maya always lost her cool when it came to me. Zoe struggled, but Maya held firm, still hurling insults. Maya, you're ugly. Alex hates you. What's up with that? I slapped Zoe, shutting her down. Everyone was stunned. Silence fell. Zoe, regaining her composure, yelled, Alex, how dare you hit me? She tried to fight back, but Maya's grip stopped her. Say something bad about my wife, and I'll hit you again. Maya was stunned, her eyes bright for a split second before dimming again. Let go of me, Zoe shouted at Maya. For this man, Maya, you'll end up dead by his hands sooner or later. Maya let go, and Zoe turned to leave. Stop, I commanded sternly. Apologize to my wife. Emotions flooded Maya's eyes once more. Zoe, irritated, gave Maya a glance, then glared at me. Alex, don't push it. When you mess up, you apologize. Even kids know that, don't you? Maybe out of fear of Maya, Zoe grudgingly muttered a sorry. Then, full of resentment, she left the gala. Watching her go, I thought about what she said earlier. You'll end up dead by his hands one day. Could she have planned the kidnapping? Suddenly, the lights dimmed, and the host took the stage to announce the auction was about to start. The crowd dispersed. Maya glanced at me, her face calm but distant. Alex, enough with the drama, okay? I wasn't making a scene. I quickly pulled her into a hug. You're my wife. It's only right I protect you. Didn't you just stand up for me too? Maya froze, expressionless. A spotlight suddenly shone on us, grabbing everyone's attention. Maya quickly turned away, leading me to our seats. Once we were seated, she tried to pull her hand away, but I intertwined my fingers with hers, showing off a bit. As the auction went smoothly, Maya didn't look my way again. I felt a bit down, trying to figure out how to win her over. Then the host announced the next item up for bid, a limited edition earring. As the staff unveiled it, the dazzling diamond caught everyone's eye. The lighting made it look stunning. I glanced at Maya, still expressionless. I was determined to win that earring. It might break the ice. Luckily, not many were willing to drop a lot for such an impractical trinket. On my third bid, I snagged it for $1 million. Caught up in my own excitement, I didn't notice Maya's darkened expression. When the party ended, I wrapped my arm around hers to claim the earring. She stayed silent the whole way. When the staff handed me the box and asked for payment, I nudged the unresponsive Maya. Babe, time to pay up. Maya frowned slightly, a hint of helplessness in her eyes, but she silently swiped her card in the end. Walking to the parking lot, she didn't wait for me. I had to jog a bit to catch up. The shoes I was wearing were new and giving me blisters. By the time I got in the car, my heels were scratched up. Annoyed, I snapped, Why are you walking so fast? Maya's gaze was hard to read. Her voice strained. Alex, you spent $1 million on that earring. What, do you want me to wear it shamelessly and parade around? I bit my lip. Maya, you know it's just an earring. Who else am I going to buy it for? She turned away, looking down. Give it to whoever you want. Don't bother telling me. I threw the gift box at her chest. It's for you, you silly woman. The air thickened. Maya stiffened. For a moment, she looked lost. Her voice was tentative. You bought this. For me? I turned my head, staring out the window, my voice rough. Not anymore. I'll give it to the driver. The car suddenly swerved. The partition rose, enclosing Maya and me in a dim space. The streetlights and trees outside cast shifting shadows inside the car, softening Maya's expression. I'm sorry, Alex. You did nothing wrong. It's my fault. I shouldn't have come tonight. Thinking back on my life after reincarnation, I'd been chasing after her, but she was always cold and distant. The pain in my feet started spreading to my heart. Maya hesitated to touch me. She almost held me. Her voice was subdued. Sorry, Alex. I never thought you'd give me anything. Her words pierced through my defenses. Scenes from both my past and present life flashed through my mind like a slideshow. I had been too cruel. For her to not even believe she could get a simple gift from me. My anger was misplaced. I suddenly turned and hugged her tightly. I was wrong. I shouldn't have treated you that way. After a while, she patted my back, comforting me. It's okay. I let go, watching her closely. We'd never been this close before. For the first time, I noticed that when shadows hid the birthmark on her face, the rest of her features were strikingly beautiful. Maya felt uneasy under my gaze. She looked away, trying to push me off, but I clung to her like glue and started having other ideas. I caught her clothing, eyes full of mischief, leaning closer to her lips. Don't, Alex. Maya held herself back, turning her head away. I'm not as self-controlled as you think. I didn't stop, but just as I was about to close the gap, she tilted her head, and my lips only caught the corner of her mouth. Maya, do you not like me anymore? Her face froze, eyes briefly puzzled. Gathering what seemed like a lot of courage, she leaned over to say, Alex, do you really see who I am? Maya, my wife. I seized the moment, cupping her face, kissing her passionately. She was caught off guard by the sudden kiss. I noticed her uncomfortable expression and was about to pull back when she gripped my arm. Alex, if you mess with me, you can't escape. At first, I didn't get what Maya meant. It wasn't until things moved faster than I'd expected. Then it hit me. In the past, Maya and I were either fighting or sulking. We never had intimate moments. I didn't expect someone so poised and reserved to be so easily affected. As her hand moved down my clothes, I hurriedly stopped her, covering her mouth with a finger. Wait, Maya, let's calm down. I glanced towards the front seat, hinting that we weren't alone. But she took it the wrong way. She moved aside, all the previous warmth gone. You can't keep up the act anymore. I stared back at her in shock. Act? Does she still think I'm faking all this? I'm not. Maya was sorting through her messy clothes, speaking calmly. Alex, you said yourself you'd never like someone like me, so-called ugly. Isn't that right? My heart felt like it was being squeezed by an invisible hand. Yes, I said it. Maya closed her eyes briefly. Then tell me, what do you want by doing all this? Whatever it is, I'll do my best to satisfy you. Just don't ask for a divorce. Maya, I'm not getting a divorce. I like you, really like you. Trying to prove my sincerity, I moved closer to Maya but ended up banging my heel in the process, wincing at the pain. Maya noticed right away. She gently put a Band-Aid on it, and once it was on, I quickly pulled my foot back. Without changing her expression, Maya cleaned up the mess and sat back down. A wave of bitterness washed over me, and I curled up in the corner. Maya, let's try to make this work, I urged. Maya looked shocked. Her eyes were hard to read in the shifting shadows. She parted her lips, just about to speak, when suddenly, the car jerked to a stop. We both lurched forward. Quickly, she reached out to steady me and scolded the driver. Sorry, Miss Maya, he stammered. Someone suddenly jumped out in front, and I had to brake. Maya glanced around coolly and said nothing, stepping out of the car. It wasn't until then that I noticed we were almost at the garage. I followed suit to open the car door. The moment my hand touched the handle, the door opened automatically. There was Sarah's perfectly beautiful face. Sarah? She smiled warmly, extending her hand. Your Highness, please step out. I stiffened, avoiding her touch. What are you doing here? Stepping out, I noticed Maya on the other side of the car, staring at me coldly. My heart sank. Was she upset about seeing Sarah? After the party in the past, Maya had asked me if I liked Sarah. Back then, hoping for a divorce, I didn't explain and let her misunderstand. This time, I ignored the wedge Sarah drove between Maya and me. Seeing Maya's eyes grow colder, I quickly sidestepped Sarah to explain. But Sarah grabbed my wrist. Don't you have something for me? Huh? What thing? Sarah glanced at Maya, smiling gently. The earrings. You said you'd give them to me. Just then, a gift box was thrown in front of us. Looking up, Maya was staring at me with a sarcastic smile, her birthmark appearing darker, flushed with anger. "No, that's not it," I desperately denied. "Who said I bought those earrings for you?" "Enough, Alex," Sarah said knowingly. "You should have told me if you wanted to help buy back the earrings. They're not worth $1 million. I turned pale. Those earrings were yours? I just wanted to buy Maya a gift, never realizing part of the auction was for celebrities and used items, which were anonymous until afterward. Maya had stormed off in a huff, and I'd forgotten to check the details. From Maya's furious eyes, I guessed she thought the whole night was a trick. She looked away, hurrying off. I bent down, picking up the gift box. "Sarah, I swear I didn't know they were yours. I didn't buy them for you." "It's late. I'm heading home." Suddenly, Sarah's expression darkened. "Alex, what's up? You always hated being around Maya and wanted to get away. Why the rush now? Did she threaten your company?" Guilt washed over me. These ideas were what I had drilled into Sarah before. I shook my head hard. "Sarah, Maya's been good to me, and I was wrong before. I want to make things work with her now." Sarah looked stunned. "Wrong before? I want to make things work with her now." Sarah looked stunned. "Alex, are you serious about being with that unattractive woman?" "Sarah." My sharp tone startled her, freezing her expression. "Don't talk about her like that, or we're not even friends anymore." Having said that, I ignored Sarah and rushed back home. The living room lights were on, but there was no sign of Maya. I slowly made my way upstairs to the study. Through a gap in the door, I saw Maya sipping wine, standing alone by the window. I suddenly recalled that last time I stayed out all night and didn't come home. The next day, I saw the cleaning lady gather up a bunch of empty bottles from the study. "Maya?" I called out softly. She paused, holding the glass, but didn't turn around. Coming in front of her, I handed over the gift box. "Maya, it's not what you think. I swear I didn't know they were Sarah's. I just wanted to give you a gift to make you happy." The strong smell of alcohol made me wrinkle my nose. "Happy? Alex, you used my money to buy her secondhand stuff and expect me to be happy." Maya snatched the gift box and tossed it into the trash. "That was $1 million. Instinctively, I reached to grab it. "Alex, you're going through all this trouble tonight. What do you really want? How much more do you want to humiliate me?" Of course, Maya misunderstood me terribly. Thinking back to what happened in the car earlier, I pulled Maya into my arms. "I don't. Maya, I genuinely want to be good to you, to be with you." Her body stiffened, unresponsive for a long moment. Despite my embarrassment, I started untying her clothes one by one, placing my hand on her waist. "Babe." Maya flinched as if she'd been shocked, lowering her eyes silently. "Alex, do you know what you're doing?" "Of course I know that I like you. I don't care what you look like. I like you." Maya looked bewildered, and while she was still in a daze, I kissed her. I watched as a mix of surprise, joy, and excitement flashed across her eyes before she closed them, pulling me in tighter as she deepened the kiss. After an intensely satisfying moment of release, Maya was resting her head on my shoulder as I carried her back to the bedroom. I stroked her hair and kissed her cheek. There was still a trace of confusion in her eyes. "Alex, can I ask you something?" she asked. I leaned in and gave her chin a playful peck. "You want to know why I've suddenly changed?" Maya silently nodded. I wrapped my arms around her waist. "All right, let me ask you this. If I were kidnapped right now and the kidnapper wanted both your money and your life, what would you do?" "Give it to them," Maya said nonchalantly. "If you do that, you'd die. You're so young and successful. Don't you think it's a waste?" Maya kissed me tenderly. "You're worth everything to me. That's exactly why I've changed." "Maya, you died for me," I admitted, laying bare the ending of our past life together. Her eyes slowly dimmed. "So, Alex, you don't really like me. You're just trying to repay a debt, aren't you?" When I first came back to life, I wondered the same thing. But when I saw Maya was safe and sound, my heart raced like a drum. The spark and thrill were undeniable. She saved me, and I do owe her. But when I saw Maya was safe and sound, my heart raced like a drum. The spark and thrill were undeniable. She saved me, and I do owe her. But I also really fell for her. I suddenly toppled Maya over and climbed on top of her. Maya, listen clearly. I like you, for no reason at all. I won't leave you in this lifetime. I sealed it with a passionate kiss, and Maya immediately responded. I held her, tangled in our endless embrace. After we settled back down, she lay against my neck, her voice laced with melancholy. Alex, I'll believe you this time, but if you're lying, please just keep the lie going. Feeling overwhelming love, I held her tightly. I'm not lying. I'll never lie to you again. The next morning, the sunlight trickling through the curtains woke me up. I rolled over, instinctively reaching for her, but all I found was a cool, empty space beside me. Half opening an eye, I glanced around. No sign of Maya anywhere on the bed. I wearily sat up, aching all over. Was last night all for nothing? Just as I was wondering how to win her back, the bathroom door opened. Maya stepped out drying her hair. She was only wrapped in a simple towel, her skin emitting a delicate fragrance in the sunlight. I couldn't help but swallow hard, trying to play it cool as I peeked through my fingers. You didn't leave? Maya walked over, prying my fingers apart. You don't want to see me? I glanced at her skin. Of course not. I lowered my gaze, meeting her soft eyes. Something about her seemed different today. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. The screen flashed Sarah's name in bold letters. Oh, no, I hadn't changed it yet. I looked back at Maya, her brow furrowed with a hint of jealousy. Oh, don't look at me like that. It's not like I asked her to call. But the next second proved otherwise. Sarah, what's up? Sarah's voice had a slight edge. Alex, did you forget? You promised to come with me to the Beijing concert tour. We agreed to shop for some stuff today. I smacked my forehead. Crap, I did promise that before things got good with Maya. No way I could go now. Sorry, Sarah, something came up. I can't make it. Heavy breathing came through the line. Hello, you there? Yeah, Sarah hesitated. Alex, are you still upset about last night? You and Maya? We're good, I said, fiddling with the shirt Maya was changing into. Suddenly, Maya wrapped her arms around my waist, getting close enough for me to feel her breath. Bye, Sarah. Talk later. I hung up and nudged Maya off. Come on, even a farm donkey couldn't keep up. Weren't you asking for it? She shot back, overwhelming me with affection, scolding her with words. But inside, I felt sweet as honey. In this life, things were finally on track. Except for the unresolved kidnapping incident. Just recalling the chilling knives piercing Maya's heart gave me unbearable pain. I couldn't let tragedy repeat. I wouldn't lose Maya. So, I became her shadow, like a personal bodyguard, watching for anything suspicious around her. We were practically inseparable, almost sharing bathroom visits. One day, I stood outside the women's restroom waiting for her while several colleagues passed by, laughing and giving me looks. Awkward? Walking back to the office, I nudged Maya to walk in front, covering my face with my hand. Hurry up, it's embarrassing. She seemed to enjoy it. They're just jealous. What's embarrassing about that? Just then, I overheard some gossip. Maya and her guy are so in love. Can't be apart for a second. Who knew cold, distant Maya would turn out to be such a romantic? Is her guy gonna keep working here? Hope so. She's been so much nicer lately. Maya's lighthearted expression shifted to seriousness. Who said that just now? Step up! Her voice was chilled with what seemed like anger. Who'd dare admit it? I subtly hooked her fingers behind her back, signaling her to let it slide. But she squeezed my hand, then let go. Asking again. A supervisor stepped in diplomatically. I apologize, Maya. Don't be upset. I'll get to the bottom of this and address it sternly. Addressing sternly? Maya raised her eyebrow and asked, Oh, are they getting fired? She grinned and said, No way. I was actually thinking of giving them a raise, but since no one confessed, we saved some cash. Let's have afternoon tea on me instead. Maya, I'm the one who said you and your husband have a good relationship. I'm the one who said you're love-struck. Maya, can we get a raise? Maya, may you and your husband be in love forever. Things were calm for a while. I thought maybe my second chance changed many choices, even altered the kidnapping. But then Maya's project at Bellacorp hit a snag and she had to handle it. I was really worried. In the past, I was kidnapped when Maya went on a work trip to Bellacorp. She rushed back to save me, didn't have time to investigate, just grabbed some money and came alone, which led to her tragic death. Watching her pack her bags, I dashed over and hugged her tightly, my voice hoarse. Are you sure you have to go? Can't someone else handle it? Maya kissed me and gently smoothed my hair, like soothing a kitten. Sweetie, I'll only be gone for 3 days. I'll be back soon. I tightened my grip, pouting. Not even a day unless I come to you. I rarely acted like this. Maya took my hand, remembering something. You're worried about the kidnapping? I nodded vigorously. Yes, in the past, it happened right after you went to Bellacorp. Even though the timing and project are different now, I can't risk it. Finally getting to be with you again, I don't want to lose that. She held me tighter. It won't happen, trust me. In the end, I went with Maya to Bellacorp. The first 2 days went smoothly, and work got handled without a hitch. At night, I sat on the bed after my shower, scrolling through my phone. Suddenly, I got a message on Instagram from Sarah. We hadn't talked since I turned down her tour last time. Sarah. Alex, are you in Bellacorp? Me. How'd you know? Sarah. Is something up? Sarah sent a voice message. Alex, I have a performance in Highshire. Tomorrow night is the last one. I'm going overseas for a while after. Won't be back for quite some time. Think you can come see me? Just then, Maya came out of the bathroom and overheard. Feeling guilty, I quickly locked my phone, smiling as I went to meet her. Sarah, didn't expect her to be so straightforward? Yeah, she's performing here and invited us to watch. Maya gave a wry smile. Invited you, right? I leaned my head against her. What's the difference? Aren't we like a package deal now? Maya poked my head with her finger. She's your friend. If you want to go, just go. I stared at her, silent. What? She unconsciously touched her face. Wait, I said, stopping her hand, gently holding her face. Honey, I noticed you've become more beautiful lately. She let out a soft laugh. Alex, you don't need to fib just to see a performance. I was serious. I'd noticed the change and finally figured it out today. I brought her to the mirror, pointing at her birthmark. Hasn't it faded a lot? Maya studied it. Seems a bit. I remembered that, in the past, Maya didn't have this change. Even when she died, the birthmark sat deep on her left cheek. So, could this be because of me? Excited, I hugged her tight. If my guess is right, I'll love you even more. Maya came with me to see Sarah's performance. We sat in the prime area she reserved for us. Holding the huge bouquet of zinnias I got for Sarah, Maya had a strange expression. This is the first time I've given flowers to a rival. I took her hand. I've told you countless times. Sarah and I are just friends. Maya quipped, you might see her as a friend, but she might not. I playfully pinched her. Someone's got a love-struck jealous streak. No hope for you. Huh? I'm incurable and you're not gonna help? Maya joked, pretending to be pitiful. When did you get sick? She said earnestly. Didn't you say I was beyond help? I was speechless. Right then, music began and the crowd quieted. Sarah elegantly walked on stage. She'd said back in middle school she wanted to be a pianist. Congrats to her. She made it happen. She's really good, too. Appearance-wise, even with the birthmark, she was a shade less breathtaking than Maya. But loves like that don't make much sense. What's up? I squeezed her hand. Maya, I love you. She paused, then her eyes filled with warmth. Alex, I love you too. The performance ended and we went backstage to find Sarah. They were having a meeting, so we waited outside. I used the restroom and left Maya waiting. When I got back, a crowd had gathered at the meeting room entrance. What a shame the pianist's hand got injured. She's done for life. Someone pushed her when the chandelier fell, I heard. Wasn't there something online about the person she likes marrying someone else? Could it be a crime of passion? Listening to the baseless gossip, my mind was a jumbled mess. I wove through the people. Zinnias were scattered all over the floor. Not far, the massive chandelier pinned Sarah's arm down. Her face twisted in pain. Maya stood across from her, fists clenched, looking indifferent. What happened? I grabbed Maya's hand in worry. She began to speak, but Sarah's groan cut in. Alex, it hurts. Alex, my hand. Is it ruined? Despair filled her eyes. I didn't know what to say, but comforted her. It won't be. Medicine's advanced. They'll fix it. Just then, medics hurried over, taking Sarah away. On the way back to the hotel, Maya was quiet, deep in thought. Once inside, I softly asked, "Can you tell me what happened?" Maya stared at me intently. "Alex, do you trust me?" "Of course," I replied without hesitation. She sighed deeply and said, "You had just left, and the door swung open. I went in, wanting to give the flowers to Sarah for you, but she wouldn't take them. She asked why I was there, not so friendly. I didn't want to argue, so I forced the flowers into her hands. While we were tussling, the chandelier fell down. I tried to pull her towards me, but she pulled back and got hit." Maya hesitated, looking at me. But what?" I asked. Lips pursed, she said, "Before she pulled back, she looked up." I was shocked. "Are you saying Sarah did it on purpose?" "I can't be sure, but there's that suspicion." "But why would she do that? She's a pianist. Her hands are everything to her. She even talked to me about insuring them. Why would she ruin them on purpose?" "Maybe I'm overthinking things," Maya said, brushing my hair gently. Shower and rest before I could sleep. There was a knock on the door. It was the police. Someone reported seeing Maya and Sarah arguing. The chandelier chain was tampered with, so they needed Maya for questioning. I was restless in the hotel. Does this mean they're suspecting Maya of hurting Sarah on purpose? After thinking for a while, I took a cab to the hospital. Outside the operating room, Sarah's colleague Mike was waiting, looking tense. In a past life, he was always good to Sarah. Anyone could tell he liked her, except she acted clueless. Mike glanced my way, eyes glaring. He stormed over. "What are you doing here? Haven't you done enough?" Passing doctors and nurses separated us. He cried, calling me a murderer. "I don't get what you're saying. I didn't hurt Sarah." "But your wife did," Mike said, wiping his tears angrily. "She was jealous of you and Sarah, using such vile ways to ruin Sarah's future. How can she play without hands?" "No way." I immediately refuted Mike's claim. Sarah said clearly Maya pushed her. Why would she lie? As we argued, the surgery light turned off. The surgeon came out sighing. "The patient has nerve damage. Even with surgery, full recovery is uncertain." "What does that mean? Can she still play?" Mike asked desperately. "She might, but at what level is hard to tell." Sarah was wheeled out shortly after, looking frail against her hospital gown. Mike kicked me out of the room. Doubts swirled in my mind, so I headed back to the hotel. I bumped into Maya in the lobby, looking drained. I rushed to hug her tightly. "Do they suspect it was you?" "You know already." She didn't seem surprised. "Then you also know who told the police, right?" "Sarah." Maya rubbed her temples. "Mike exaggerated our relationship to the police and insisted I pushed her. Thanks to that, we're stuck for now." I comforted her. "It'll only take some time. Besides, you didn't do it." Maya playfully tilted my chin. "You trust me that much?" "Of course." I leaned over to kiss her. Going to the concert was a last-minute decision. How could you have planned anything bad? And the motive doesn't add up. Motive? The thought clicked. Find out about Sarah's financial status and if she actually insured her hands. You think she planned to commit insurance fraud? It's a possibility, though. I'd rather it not be the issue. Hit the internet with rumors about me and Sarah everywhere. Speculation was rampant. Maya's husband is quite cozy with the pianist. Seen them together often. With Maya looking like that, no wonder her husband's interested elsewhere. And she'd kill for this? Really? Money doesn't mean you can get away with everything. The guilty must face severe punishment to stop this. The more I read, the angrier I got. Just as I was about to reply to a comment, Maya took my phone away. No need to argue online. Once the truth's out, they'll quiet down. Seeing her weary expression, I rested my forehead against hers. No matter what happens, I'll be with you. The phone woke me up early. I was still groggy. It was Sarah calling. Alex, where are you? Why haven't you visited me? Hearing her voice woke me instantly. Is Mike not there? I woke up alone. Can you come? Glancing at Maya beside me, I answered. Wait for me. Maya rolled over lazily, and I snuggled closer. Jealous? No. I turned her towards me, holding her face. I need to ask some things in person. It's nothing else. Running her fingers along my neck, she gave a tender smile. I understand. I'll drive you. In the hospital room, Sarah perked up at my arrival. Alex, sit here. She patted the bed. I took a seat in a chair instead. Sarah, I've considered you a good friend since middle school. Her face tensed. I feel the same. Then why did you lie? Why did you let someone tell the cops it was Maya who hurt you? Sarah had a flash of panic in her eyes, then chuckled lightly. Alex, is she more important to you than me now? Whatever she says, you believe, but you don't believe anything I say, right? I only believe in facts. She was with me all day. There's no way she could have messed with the chandelier. Sarah scoffed. She could have paid someone else to do it. She pushed me under the chandelier. She's always had it out for me, jealous of how close you and I are. She wasn't, I said seriously. She knows we're just friends. She wasn't, I said seriously. She knows we're just friends. She and I are really happy. She doesn't need to hurt you to strengthen our relationship. Happy? Sarah looked down, chuckled bitterly, and murmured, You clearly hate her and are dying to divorce her. How could you love her? No point in... I stood up. Sarah, you know what's what. Maya didn't do it, and you won't succeed in framing her. The truth will come out eventually. Just as I reached the door, Sarah called after me. Alex, are we still friends? I sighed and shook my head. Take care of yourself. I shut the door and left. Only Sarah's crazy laughter echoed in the wind. My guess was right. Maya's people found out Sarah insured herself for a huge amount. If she had an accident or got hurt, the insurance would pay her a lot of money. Also, someone snapped photos of her going in and out of an underground casino. She tried to disguise herself, but with a little digging, it was clear it was her. Before Maya could take all this to the cops, they called her first. Someone turned themselves in saying they did it all and Maya had nothing to do with it. Was it Mike? Maya looked shocked. How did you know? I smiled bitterly. He's probably the only one who's blindly in love with Sarah enough to take the fall. You mean he didn't do it? I shrugged. I don't know. I just saw him at the hospital that day. Even if he hates Sarah for love, she's unlikely his target. Then who might it be? I covered Maya's curious eyes. Doesn't matter. Let it be. Pack up. I want to go home. After going back, life returned to normal. But the stone in my heart never settled. Lately, Maya's been pulling all-nighters for work. I'd been trying hard to persuade her to balance work and rest. I often overslept in the mornings. Today, when I woke up, I was the only one home again. Maya left a message on my phone. Babe, if you're too tired, don't come to the office. Just rest at home. I realized she probably hurried through lunch when I wasn't around. I quickly got ready. As I was heading out, I got a call from Sarah. Alex, are you still mad at me? What's up? My voice turned chilly. Sarah sneered. Can't I call you if there's nothing going on? I'm busy. If it's nothing, I'll hang up. Alex, you chose Maya. Don't blame me. Her icy words cut me off and she hung up. I couldn't shake my unease. So I reached out to Maya. Be careful of Sarah. I have a feeling she might try to hurt you. Okay, where are you? I'll send someone to get you. I just left the house in the car. Someone grabbed me from behind, covering my mouth and nose. I blacked out. When I came to, my hands and feet were tied, my mouth stuffed with a cloth. I surveyed my surroundings. My heart felt like it dropped into an ice pit. The kidnapping had happened. A voice bellowed, I have your husband. If you want him alive, deliver the ransom according to our instructions. Address to follow. Call the cops and you can collect his body. Even the threats were word for word the same. No, Maya can't come. They don't want money. They want her dead. Tears streamed down as I desperately thought of how to stop her. Alex, are you crying for Maya? I turned toward the voice and Sarah approached, fiddling with a knife. Its cold gleam was chilling. Yeah, she's about to die. She crouched down and removed the cloth from my mouth. She's about to die. She crouched down and removed the cloth from my mouth. Why you? At least before you accused Maya, I really saw her as a friend. Because of you, Alex. She dug her fingers into my jaw. If you hadn't fallen for Maya, ignored me, would I have gotten addicted to gambling? Do you know what it's like to have loan sharks after you? To feel trapped with nowhere to turn? I looked at her as if she was a stranger. So you framed Maya? Used Mike's love to cover everything up? Sarah admitted everything. She did all of it, and this kidnapping plot. Alex, someone wants Maya dead. I just came up with a more fun way to do it. Aren't you so in love with Maya? If only one of you can survive, who do you choose? I froze. Turns out, in my last life, it was her too. I spat at her. You're a psycho, a creep. This time, you won't hurt Maya. I won't let you win. Sure. Sarah's smile didn't reach her eyes. I'll be watching. Her words had just left her mouth when the door slammed open. Maya walked in, heavy with determination. Let Alex go. Where's the money? The kidnapper asked. Maya pointed to the suitcase. Let him go first. Check the money first. The kidnapper pressed the gun to my head. Maya caved. She slowly crouched down and opened the suitcase. As soon as she turned the case around, police officers burst in from nowhere, taking down the kidnappers and Sarah. Ignoring everything else, Maya rushed to my side, helping me up and untying me. Frantically, she checked me over, then wrapped me in a tight hug. It's okay. It's all over now. I nodded happily. Yes, it's over. Sarah and her crew didn't stand a chance after getting caught right there. To get lighter sentences, they ratted out the mastermind, Zoe herself. They'd all face legal consequences for sure. Later, I heard from Maya. Ever since I talked about what happened in our past life, she installed a tracker on my phone. So when the kidnappers called, Maya and the cops were already almost there. She wasn't passive like in the past life. In this life, she wanted to grow old with me, just like I did with her. Maya's fading birthmark became a hot topic online. People were comparing her old photos to the new ones. Bellacorp's CEO was suspected of getting cosmetic surgery. Maya, the beauty overshadowed by a birthmark. The top searches were all about her face. I rushed to the study with my phone to show Maya. It was blowing up online. Maya glanced at it, looking indifferent. Let them talk. I didn't get any surgery. I'm naturally beautiful. I laughed out loud. Vain. Standing on my toes, I reached up to grab a familiar box from the top shelf. Huh? Didn't you throw these earrings out? Maya moved from in front of her computer, her deep eyes sparkling. No matter what, it's the first gift you ever gave me. I couldn't actually throw it away. I gently rubbed Maya's reddened eyes. Poor thing. My heart aches. I was so bad to you before. Trust me, I'll give you something even more precious. I hooked my finger under Maya's chin and kissed her passionately. When we broke apart, she gave me a teasing smile. Alex, that more precious gift isn't just you, is it? I turned my face away. What are you thinking? Not that it'd be a bad thing. As long as I have you, that's enough. We kissed again, caught up in each other's tender spell, unable to pull away. Maya's epilogue. I never imagined I'd really have Alex one day. But now that the day is here, I don't want to let go. I know I'm not attractive enough for him. Originally, I just wanted to help his family through tough times. But when a friend suggested marriage, I got greedy. If I couldn't have his heart, having him would do. Alex has a female friend. They're practically childhood sweethearts. Though Alex never said he liked her, I could tell by the way she looked at him and how she cared for him. She was my rival, and a strong one at that. After Alex and I got married, he was always distant. Was he mad at me for breaking them up? Without me, would that woman have been the one to walk down the aisle with him? I didn't dare to think further. I made it clear to him. As long as he didn't divorce me, I'd look the other way if he wanted something with her. I never thought Alex would show up. He was so firm about not coming before he left. I noticed he came alone, eyes already red. Was he going to embarrass me in front of everyone? Whatever, let him do whatever makes him happy. From the moment I set my heart on him, I knew I was tied to him forever. Alex's warmth today was thrilling, but also unsettling. Was I being tested? Was there a catch? He said, "I like you." Ridiculous. He's the same guy who swore he'd never like me. Pathetic as it is, I was ready to be deceived by his words. I knew something was off. The gift was something that woman had used. No wonder he was so generous. Spending my money, I looked at the gift box in the trash. Couldn't resist pulling it out. It was the first thing he gave me, and he claimed he had no idea beforehand. I guess I should trust him. I think I made the right gamble. Alex didn't lie to me. Days became sweet and fulfilling. That woman stopped appearing near us. Alex even said I looked prettier. Indeed, with love watering my life, my birthmark faded. Turns out it wasn't a birthmark, but a love curse. True love broke it. Lucky me. I got it. Hearing something off in Alex's voice on the phone, I immediately checked his location and alerted the police. I don't know how I felt about saving him in the past life, but now I just want us to last. Plus, I promised him I wouldn't let anything happen to either of us. After Alex took those earrings back that day, he didn't return them. On Valentine's Day, the whole company was bathed in love's sweet scent. The aroma of roses was intoxicating. I listlessly turned my phone on and off. Alex was gone early in the morning and hadn't shown up since. Not a call, not a message. For lunch, I just grabbed a sandwich and got back to work. While I was lost in thought, a big bunch of red roses burst into my office. Surprise. Alex poked his head out from behind the flowers. I tried not to laugh. "Is this where you disappeared to early this morning?" "Yep." He set the flowers down and came up to me. "Close your eyes and give me your left hand." I did what he said. Soon enough, I felt something cool on my ring finger. I peeked with one eye half open. He had slipped a ring onto my finger. "Do you like it?" he asked, showing me his left hand. "There are a couple rings, and they're engraved. Yours has my name, and mine has yours." He looked at me with excitement, his eyes like a galaxy that made my heart skip. I couldn't help but kiss him, not wanting to let go. "Are you satisfied with your first gift?" I nodded, satisfied. "But what about the earrings?" With a wave of his hand, he said, "Taken care of, just pretend they never existed. Anyway, it's not a loss. The ring was bought with that money." I was skeptical. "How'd you manage that?" A wise man has his ways. Later, I accidentally saw my mother-in-law wearing the earrings on her shirt. I asked where they came from. She said my father-in-law bought them from Alex for $1.5 million as a gift for her. Alex grabbed my hand and started pulling me out. "Where are we going?" "We're still at work." He pouted. "It's Valentine's Day, of course we're going on a date." "You're the boss, right? Why work?" I chuckled. "Bosses have to make a living too." Boss, right? Why work? I chuckled. Bosses have to make a living too. Is the work urgent? I flipped through it. Not really. Then take today off and I'll help you work this weekend. He must have some plans in mind. I couldn't resist him, so I gave in without much of a fight. With him, I just can't say no. He pulled me outside and announced loudly that Valentine's Day was a holiday. The whole room cheered for Mr. G. He won big time. Seeing him smile so brightly, everything around seemed to fade away. He was the only one radiating endless light, illuminating the once lonely and dark rest of my life.